I think that's what keeps us going in the inspiration behind it, because we've had plenty of opportunities to not and throw in a towel or just not be inspired. But, you always got to show up. Like you said, like there's mountaintops and then there's life that hits you in the face.
This is Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. We are the #1 business show on the planet with over 1 million downloads a month. Taking the BS out of business for over 6 years and over 400 episodes. You ready to start snapping necks and cashing checks? Turn it up. It starts right about now.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Right About Now with Ryan Alford. I am your host, and welcome to our newest show. Wherever you are, whenever you are, however you are, you know we love you for making us #1 in business and marketing on Apple. And you know what? I got some of my favorite guys in today. The music's good, but once you get to know them, you don't want to leave. Graham DeLoach, Michael Hobby, 1,000 Horses.
Hey, what's up, man?
Going on?
Hey, G Vegas, baby.
Here we are.
In the studio.
Here we are. A lot of memories.
Yeah, glad to be here.
I know. Love having you.
Yeah,
I told
thanks for
Michael, I
having
was like, if we did it again, we're getting you in the studio.
Oh yeah, I knew when I hit you. I was like, I'm gonna make a trip. Whenever he gives me the green light, I told him that was our deal.
Yep. Exactly.
So Graham came with me.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, I need somebody to ride. Come on with."
They almost
surprise
were
y'all.
like sending me down here. I was like, you know what? This is gonna be my podcast with Ryan. We're not
That's
even
right.
talking about you.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll get Graham on the board too.
Yeah, I need a
Yeah,
little face
get him on the
something.
board,
He's on the
man.
board,
Get him on the
Yeah.
board.
Got the wall of fame here behind it. You know what? It's the wall of fame, but it's like my wall of favorites. So, it's
Hey,
like, but,
dang, that makes me feel good.
yeah, man. But
Put him somewhere like a bottom corner.
Yeah, very unnoticeable spot. Yeah.
Where you gotta like really look.
yeah, I will say this. So you guys came in. These guys come in the back door. We got like the luxury intro for them. They slide in the back door like a true band. And no, but the funny thing is, and you guys, if you're listening, you got to go watch the YouTube. This is what rock stars are supposed to look like. I'm talking. I'm like 6'4.5", 6'5" with some boots on. These guys stroll in, and I'm like, I knew Michael was, but Graham, long hair, looks like a rock star. Michael here, you guys carry the part. I mean,
Oh, thanks.
Oh shit.
We've been dressing this way for most of our life.
Yeah.
Trying to.
no, you're looking good.
Thanks,
And
man. You too.
I will say this, and I don't get paid to say anything I don't want to say. Nobody says anything. We become buds.
Yeah.
But I have become a true 1,000 Horses junkie.
Oh man.
I'm just saying. Like, if you went, you got the Spotify like playlist thing that like the end of the year, like your favorite bands or whatever.
yeah.
It was like the name of the playlist they gave to me was 1,000 Horses and these other few songs you listen to.
Man, that's so killer.
I'm serious. Like, it was like literally, it was like, how many times have I played X number of songs? Because what happens is, and you guys know this. I mean, you guys have been playing for a long time, and everybody knows you have the wonder hit of all time. Fastest charting #1 with Smoke, but you guys have this whole other set of albums, like 5, 6, 7 albums that are out there, and it's all fucking good rock, like country music. It's just like there's the stuff that I like to listen to, but it's like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Like I know your hit,
Right.
And then met you with Jaron and started to dig into it, and I'm like, this is my jam. I mean, I grew up loving, all that kind of stuff. So I'm digging it, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. We've been doing it a while together.
Yeah.
We got a lot of music out and more on the way out.
I know that's
Which is exciting. So, yeah, it's been fun.
What's the guiding inspiration these days for you guys? Like, I feel like, and we may have covered a little bit of this, Michael, the first time, but like, I feel like, having Graham here and having perspective, you get to the highs of the high, you got to the mountaintop in the business, and then you grow up a little, real world smacks you in the face, but you're still making good music. But what's the drive these days?
Man,
Go ahead. Go
We've
ahead.
been doing this together. You want to one, two, man?
Should we sync up?
Yeah. The drive for us and is really the love of music and the love of playing music. And I know that sounds, a cliche thing to say, but like that's the truth. It's inside of us, and even when we don't want to do it,
It still feels like the right thing to do.
It still feels like the right thing to do, and I think that's what keeps us going. I mean, in the inspiration behind it, because we've had plenty of opportunities to not,
Right.
and throw in a towel or just, not be inspired. But you always got to show up. It's not always rain, like you said. Like there's mountaintops, and then there's life that hits you in the face. And for us, we love to play music together. I mean, and we love to write music, and we love to listen to music and go see music, and it's been part of our life since we were kids. That's how we became friends. When we were 11 and 12 years old, was listening to each other's records that we liked, and trying to learn how to play those records, and then talking about songs and trying to throw house parties together.
Whose parents are out of town?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's really what it comes down to for us. We couldn't stop if we wanted to. I mean, it's like a blessing and a curse
Right.
at times.
I heard someone use the term. They were like, we kind of all knew who all the lifers are here, and they call us lifers, and they're like, and I kind of feel like that. I'm like, we can't do anything else. I think we're in this. We're doing life here.
Well, now
in
we're in way
music,
too damn deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. You know what the irony is for me, and it struck me like first started getting to know you, Michael, and like listening to the songs. Like you had a lot of establishment, like you've been playing and doing stuff before Smoke.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, y'all, and so an established band, but then you had this meteoric rise. So everybody kind of comes to know you as that song. And maybe like a flash in that moment. But then when people like really get underneath you guys to see that this is a fucking true rock band, like they're in it. Like it's a contrary to what is the normal flash in the pan, which is someone that just hit it luckily and maybe aren't that in it or aren't that great.
Yeah.
But the reality is there's so much more depth to you guys that I think becomes like this gem of a surprise for people that gets to know you guys.
Man, yeah, there's a lot more to 1,000 Horses than just Smoke. We that's such a huge part of our story. And that's a major highlight. But yes, like you said, there is so much more beyond that, albums and just so much life lived in this band. Like,
yeah, and to be lifers in it and not, it's the exact opposite of one hit. It's, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And you've had other hits, and you're way more than that. And it's like, but the assumption that it was just that when no, these guys are, like you said, everybody knew y'all were in it. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, we've been doing it together for 20 years. Like when like playing in a band, before 1,000 Horses, like we were in another band together, and just cutting our teeth, trying to figure it out. And you're right. I mean, yeah, Smoke was like a commercial success, and that opens a lot of doors and to a lot of people's ears. But and that's by far in our career like our biggest commercial success. But there's other successes underneath it.
No, because you're career musicians, you're career artists. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people that hit this is they come in and they do the blip and they hit it, whatever. But you guys, this was going to be a career no matter what.
Yeah,
you just
right. Like we're going to do the damn thing.
Yeah. You just happen to have what a lot of people would love to have, whether it's once, 5 times, 1,000 times.
Yeah,
right.
Like it's right in the middle.
Yeah, we always say we rang the bell.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It is.
And
but it probably gets, and we did this track a little bit, Michael, but I think I got to do a little different spin on it. It probably becomes unhealthy. There's probably been healthy and unhealthy moments of trying to do that again. or thinking about it too much.
For sure.
100%. Yeah.
I would just think
The overthinking
yeah.
and the getting in your way sometimes. I mean, but who doesn't do that?
I know.
Anyone who's who sees a goal, who knows their path, but they just got to figure out how to get there. You're inevitably going to have those times, I think, where at some point you're going to get in your own way and you're going to learn from it,
But I think the music shows, if you really go listen to these guys, like the albums and the consistently good music, you start to realize that like you got that out of the way, and at some point you just got to play the damn good music,
Yeah, and that's kind of where we're at in our career now, because you're right. Like, you start chasing.
Yeah.
You chase that feeling again. You chase you
It's a good feeling.
and there's a lot of
after we're human beings, like it's the mecca of like everybody
Right.
loves you,
Yeah.
and the influence, there's a lot of influence on you, and there's a lot of pressure on you to do it again, and then you get confused as an artist. I think that happens to a lot of artists. They get kind of caught up in the business system side of it, that they lose focus on what actually got them there, that made them unique and made it successful, and you kind of get tossed around a little bit. And we went through that, after Smoke, and then just now, with the new music that we're releasing and the last record we did, like, we're coming out of that because we're able to do what we want to do, and really it's like looking back, like, why did we get in this in the first place? You know what I mean?
To make music that
Yeah.
we love, and we hope other people love it.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating discussion. I think thinking about the business, we tread some of this track, we talk. I like to do this, guests come in and we end up shooting the shit at the bar for a little while.
Yeah, we could have done the whole interview before we got in
we
here.
start talking about all the business and everything else. And Michael, you and I talked some of this, but I think we can go even deeper now, like thinking about how different it is. Like, because even myself knowing it, having friends like you that tell me about it, and then seeing the business from afar, I sit there going, when's the album coming out? When's the new album coming out? And it's like, it's coming out, but people will just want the next single, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what's the next? We're in a singles world.
Yeah, we are, which is like takes it back to like back in the day
Right.
when music started. That's what it was. History repeats itself. But it's almost, being in this business for as long as we have been in it, and as young as we are still in it, it's we can see it now in our position of like how many times it's changed over the course of like that 15, 20
We've
years.
seen a lot of versions of
We've
it.
seen a lot of versions and a lot of, it's like you get right to the goal line and you're like, all right, and then they move it. You know what I mean? And like sometimes you get ahead of it, but it's going to catch up to you is kind of our analogy towards it. And things change, and what was important then is no longer important now, and there's a new thing that's important, and then you got to wrap your head around, well, what does that even mean? Because you're wired the old way. And
Yeah.
and you're always
And the technology changes now, because like in the day, the radio changed the game, right? Like years ago. And then that was kind of the thing. Then I guess CDs did. And you've got but now the technology with streaming changing the game, with the iPod. Like that started it. Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
yeah.
And so you've had that, and then you've got the smartphone proliferation and all the apps. And then now, TikTok.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's like there's all these different mediums that kind of that seemingly come up overnight comparatively. When the technology cycle used to be 10, 20, 30 years, it's now
Yeah.
every 2 years, or
Yeah.
less.
Like, what's going to be next?
Yeah.
And it just adds more responsibility to your plate as an artist, because now you have a new job that is like a content thing, and then a engagement thing, and that didn't exist. I mean, even when Smoke was out, like streaming was brand new. It was something that we really weren't allowed to support in the situation that we were in, and then like overnight it was like everything that we had to support. So you see like the confusion. And then and that was only 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
And then now it's everything, and then now there's TikTok, like you said. That's like that didn't. I mean, I think Instagram just had come out when
Or started to get warmed up.
Yeah, it was
15,
just
14. I mean, started in 09, but it didn't hit mainstream until 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
You know, and then now TikTok. But like back to like the social thing, like you think about like when you used to create songs, you'd create music video, right? And that was the video content for the band, right? But now there's a desire for, what's the band up to? Show me your rehearsal.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, 1,000 Horses is the TV station, of the behind the scenes. You know, everybody wants, there's like this voracious appetite for as much as you want to give people. And it's both a blessing and a curse and an opportunity all in one.
It is.
It is. It's,
and they don't care. They don't just care about seeing rehearsal. They want to see what you ate for breakfast. I mean, like people want to see everything now. It's crazy. It's like totally wild. And we didn't get into playing music in our garage when we were kids, thinking one day, okay, we're gonna have to be like, quasi influencer / like content creator type thing as well. But I mean. And you don't want to get lost in those things, but they, in the same sense that you said it's a blessing and a curse, it really is. It's like it can be an amazing tool for you to use, and it's a way that, now you have direct access to the people that care about what you're doing, no matter what you're doing, which is amazing. It really is.
You can create your own ecosystem.
Yeah,
you can create your own thing, and that's where I feel like, a lot of people fight it, and a lot of people are mad at it, and a lot of people have, there's all kinds of feelings towards it that we've talked about, but. It really
I have
is.
those feelings sometimes.
Yeah, so do I.
We all do.
Yeah.
I got a carrot in my face all day, and I think about it all. I mean,
Yeah, seriously.
It's an incredible opportunity for independent artists. That's the new thing. Like, independent artists now, I feel like for music, in this time in music, have the best opportunity than they've ever had to really do their art, and play their music and build an audience that's actually like sustainable and also can provide for them a lifestyle, and I think that's the silver lining of it all. Mm-hmm. I mean, that comes with lots. Like it's a lot of noise with that as well that you have to navigate how to cut through. And you and I were talking about like how, you just never know when that moment's going to happen.
And the irony again is, you guys have the savvy and the repertoire and the ability musically, because you've got all this experience, you've got a hit, you've got multiple hits, but yet the new generation is more adept to these new channels and maybe comfortable and knows exactly how to activate it. So I'm sure for guys like you that it's all about the craft, having to learn and want to take on those things is probably like a daily, like you embrace it, but it's not
struggle.
Like,
it comes with a lot of challenges.
We pick up the Nintendo when we were, 20 years ago. That was easy. It's natural because I was like, you're young and dumb and you do it, and so like a new artist that's 21, it just
that's the thing to
do.
Yeah, it's like natural.
Yeah,
just like we used to go hand out flyers and hang up flyers, and then take a Discman with our CD in it and play it for random people on the street to see if they wanted to buy it or wanted to come to a show.
Yeah,
like it was like street marketing, and we didn't seem to think there was anything hard or strange about that.
Right, we had a MySpace page, and you had your music player
or a
right
website. And then we'd tour in a car or a van or whatever, and we'd play anywhere anybody would have us, and that's how we were trying to get our music out. And now, like with the new generation, like their version of that is sitting in front of their computer and playing and sending it out to the world like every night and being consistent with it. So it's just it's the same amount of effort. It's just a different. You don't have to do that anymore.
I would think, I did this like the last time I was sitting here and I brainstorm, like could see like there should be a total like 1,000 Horses, like a great American country rock band, like the telling of this story in real life. Like I just feel like, because it's like because you guys have the credibility of the talent of the music, the 5-6 album, like how many ever albums, how many ever songs.
Yeah.
So you have all this credibility and all these things that you've done. So this professionalism. I feel like there's just a story to be had there in the professional journey, of now.
There's a lot to that story for sure.
There's a
How
lot.
much time you got?
Yeah.
I know, but like I
lot
can
to
see that
unpack.
playing out as like that's the content. Like
Yeah, actually,
in a
yeah.
way,
Yeah.
like that's the story. You know, it's-
100%.
I don't know. I'm seeing production here, but then you
Hey, let's
know.
go.
Let's talk about new music.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys obviously embraced the singles thing. Michael shared a pre-release of the album like when we talked last time. I've been jamming it and keeping it under wraps as long as possible as one single after
Yeah,
another starts
it's coming,
out.
man. It's coming. It's coming. I appreciate you doing that.
No, and but talk about the inspiration and what's the sound and where's the head space at now for what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, we finished it. Yeah, we did a new record with producer John Randall, who was the first time working with him. He's great, and we've been rolling out songs from it since September, and we got another new song dropping March 1st, called Summer, and we're just kind of rolling it out before our headlining tour starts. And we had a lot of fun making that record. We made it over the course of a year. We do it in like spurts when we had time,
Like little 3-song,
to get together. And we cut everything we cut on that record. We wanted to cut and had been wanting to cut, because a lot of people don't know is after Smoke we kind of got stuck in this holding pattern that the business can put you in, because we were coming out of that record deal, which it takes a long time, and then you can't release anything. And you can't do anything while you're in the middle of that. And then we moved right into a new one, and this, like, it was over before it started, because the world was over before it started during that time
the old
period.
2020.
So we got held there, and not by anything malicious by anybody. It was literally
Unnatural purgatories.
Right, you
Yeah.
just kind of stumble into some red tape and you get caught up in
Yeah.
it for a while, and it's
Yeah.
like,
And we had this record that we'd made, the one before this new one that's coming out. And by the time we exited from that deal, it had been 3 years, like, with that record. And then we put it out on our own, because we have it, and then started the next one, which is the one that's coming out now. And that's where we feel like that's where there's such a gap in our catalog. Like, not that anybody notices that there's a gap, but from the first record, Southernality, to the Broken Heartland full-length record, like, I mean, how many years was that?
too many.
Yeah.
I don't know the number of years, but
I think
too many.
just because I've been looking at the album cover so much, it's like it was like 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a long time, and that, now that we're out of all that and we're clean and we're independent and we do it ourselves, we have our own label and we have a distribution deal and our own team of people. We have kind of turned on the music faucet for our band to make up for the last 5-6 years, and we're just not going to cut it off. And it seems like the best time in the world to not cut it off, because now that's what you got to do. We think.
Yeah, and that speaks to the singles thing that you're talking about. I mean, I think really the goal there is just to consistently release music, like the faucet that he was talking about. We just want to go and never stop.
Yeah.
Because we
We got a
when
lot
you
of
get-
pent up music, as they say.
Right. I'm like, we
know?
hit a little bit of a roadblock, and it's like, well, let's learn from that, and let's just not ever do that again. So just constantly release music.
Is what did you classify like the style of the newest music? And then I want to talk about some fighters we all like.
I mean, the style, it's country rock and roll. I mean, it has. I mean, we grew up on rock and roll music, and country music, but also, you know, we when we met each other, it was, you know, Led Zeppelin, the Black Crowes, Tom Petty. Graham was really into the Ramones and the
Sex Pistols.
Sex Pistols.
And, yep.
Bill was into the Beatles and Oasis and Foo
Incubus.
Fighters and Incubus. You know, we come from like a real rock background that happens to be Southern because we're all, you know, that was what was around us growing up. Growing up in South Carolina and Georgia, you know, we all know the type of music that comes out of here, and it's just naturally what like comes out of us. You know, it's like whenever we try to mold ourselves in a different box, it's like wearing two left shoes, or you know.
Yeah. We always say, we're like, man, it can be this hybrid, it can be country, it can be rock and roll, it can be, man, we're just an American band. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, that's what I call it. Yeah.
There was a song about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're in America.
I kind of was hearing it as you were saying it. I think it is. I mean, I listen to it, I play for people like that maybe not have heard you guys, and it always kind of just comes back to that, you know, country rock, Southern rock, something like that.
Right.
And it's very endearing, and I think, you know, and Summer's a very endearing song. I mean, you know, it's got, I don't know, there's a brightness to it, and then there's like, just kind of like that Americana, you know?
Yeah.
It like totally brings you there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we get the Americana thing a lot, you know, but I think that's in our songwriting. You
Yeah.
know, it's like the style of what we want to sing
It's
about.
just
and what we wanna
honest.
write about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We try to be as truthful as you can when you write when you tell your stories, you know, and you write your lyrics, and, you know, try not to cliche it up with what you think. That's another thing too. It's like writing like what you feel and what you like, or thinking about what you should write that you think someone else is going to like.
I think that, and
That
you
is
can get tripped
right
up
there.
very easily.
Oh,
It's a
God,
slippery slope.
that would drive me not
Yeah.
crazy, but that would always be in my mind.
Yeah, but you got to sing it every night, and you got to live with it, you know, and it's really your expression of your art. So I would
Go on
say-
that.
I would say, yeah.
I subscribe to the Rick Rubin philosophy. He's like, you have to truly make something for yourself, and when you do that, it just so happens to connect with other people because it's authentic. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it, man.
That's it. So the latest single, you know, it's ironic. I'm gonna tell a story. I played a lot of the new album, and I started catching it like in my favorite song that I'm still waiting on. Roll
Oh, it's
On,
coming. It's
you
coming.
know.
I meant to tell you that earlier.
Yeah, like, and my kids are waiting on it.
I have a
Like,
day. for
You
that one.
know,
I can
when are
tell
we
you
gonna be able
that.
to play that on Apple Music?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, and Daddy and I have to pull it out of his files on his
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah, out of the Dropbox.
Yeah, the
which is
Dropbox.
pain
I
in the
can't even,
Dropbox
I
is
can't
a
even put
pain
y'all
in-
on a playlist.
Yeah.
Like, but anyway, it's all good. I at least get to listen to it. But Foo Fighters, I was like, your voice always had a little bit of that ring to me. So when the new single came out, I was like, yeah, that made sense. So My Hero.
Yeah. Yeah, My Hero was something we were just messing around with, and we'd play in sound checks and we'd jam acoustic, and like we love the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
And we love that song. We love so many of their songs, and they were a big influence on us growing up. And we just kind of started going down that road of learning it and how we would want to do it, and we loved it. And we went in and cut it live, and we're like, man, we've never put out a cover. Like, we've never been allowed to do something like that. So why wouldn't we? And it's a great song, and I feel like the band and everybody did a great job. And, you know, I mean, who doesn't love the Foo Fighters?
I mean,
Exactly.
they've been around.
Fun.
Yeah, they've been like the soundtrack to our lives from when we were, you know, kids all the way up until now. And I'm like, why not do something that we love that means so much to us, and then just kind of have fun with it? And that's what happened.
How does it work putting out a cover song that someone else is and you release it? So how does that, do you have to ask permission? Can you just do it?
I mean, they wrote the song, so they get
that's their song.
you know, the songwriting
But, yeah,
credit.
We
and-
can, you know, you can record anybody's song and
Yeah.
re-release it.
And so they get a portion of some proceed or something.
Yeah.
As the songwriter credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about that though. I think that's stuff people are like for business don't understand. Like
songwriting royalty.
yeah,
and
I
stuff.
think that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Like for a business, like you know, if you think about every dollar made, where does that dollar go?
They may make a few bucks off that.
Yeah. I hope so. I hope they do.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So it's kind of divided up, publishing and writing. If you write the song, you own the publishing, and then there's recording side, which is like master side, and whoever pays for the recording of that owns that master essentially, and that's just the recording side of it. So
So y'all in that part. Because
yeah,
you produced it.
Yeah, it's our thing, and it's their song. So any royalty distribution off its streams or plays or placements or whatever, it goes pretty much to them, and we retain the recording side of it.
So like from a dollars and cents standpoint, if that thing blew up, 1 billion downloads, like
billion
or whatever,
streams.
but out of a dollar, how much goes to the band versus the writer? Like a percentage, like.
I mean,
And I know that you have
You know,
costs built in. I'm not talking about profit, but
Well,
is it
no,
like 50-50 or is it?
The royalty structure with streaming is still a little like confusing to me, like what goes where and what is made.
I think it's confusing to everyone because they seem to be moving it. From
But y'all
time to
obviously
time.
make money. Just to be clear, like if someone does a cover, they make money themselves,
Yeah, 100%.
but you're splitting it with the original songwriter on some level.
They get the songwriting royalties off
Yeah.
of it, which whatever the streaming rate that those
that.
companies pay. I don't know what they pay.
So it's different on everyone.
Yeah.
That's this mad world that we live in there for. I'm sure for you guys, like
It's a crazy thing.
you kind of used to probably know, like if you put a CD out, like to the penny, every CD that sold, you knew
Right.
you made X.
Well, yeah, it was like $10, and you had what you had invested in it, and you got your percentage of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on Spotify, I know that like the amount that gets paid per spin even varies from what country it's played in. So it's all just split up
comes
in
from
a
everywhere.
million different ways. So it's like,
So when it's an accountant nightmare,
Right.
I would imagine, but and it's
And then
not.
that's
It's
why
not
it's
very.
like
It's
you
not
want
nearly enough.
and it's like we rely on these things, because they give you outlet to play it and they pay you, versus the direct route, and then
Yeah.
trying to go that route's difficult now because everybody wants their playlist on Apple or Spotify, so you got to be there.
Yeah.
It's a
the
wild thing.
wild west.
yeah, it really is. It's a crazy
It is-
time.
that's a great way to put it. It is the wild, wild west.
Yeah, and so I'm loving the My Hero. I mean, who doesn't like the Foo Fighters? Then what did you when you went and you knew you were gonna do acoustic, like
Well, yeah,
just the
yeah.
best way to kind of
Yeah, we knew
make
we were
it
going to
your
do it
own.
that way. And to be honest with you, we're just trying to meet Dave Grohl.
Yeah, if you're watching
You
this,
know?
Dave.
All
Yeah.
right,
We want to meet you.
Really, that's all we want. I
Kai
mean,
Kai can make that happen.
he can call me and tell me it sucks, and it'd make my day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be the best day ever. So
Yeah.
that's all. That's really why we did it. we want to meet you, Dave.
yeah. Y'all would open up for the Foo Fighters, wouldn't you?
In a minute.
Oh, man.
Like, are you kidding me?
That'd be a great fit too. I'm feeling that.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's another reason why.
Yeah.
Is got a little tour coming.
Yeah, we got the Highway Sound Tour. Kicks off March 21st in Madison, Wisconsin.
Let me just say this. Okay. I know, like, I have my friends on, but let me just tell you, I love you, Michael. But if I didn't like your music, I wouldn't, play it up. So
Yeah.
I need to say that, asterisk. You don't know a band, a rock country band, till you see them live. So Nicole and I went down to the House of Blues in Myrtle Beach and proceeded to, we took a couple of our best friends and went down there. And I don't drive 4.5 hours for many people, but I was like, I'm gonna go support Michael, the band. They're in town, and I hadn't seen y'all live, ever. And I'm like, they'll be good. I'm sure you guys.
That'll be decent.
Yeah, because with all the albums, but you don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about a fucking great concert, dude. Y'all rocked it.
Oh,
It was
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank
Like
you.
the first song, "Down in a Blaze of Glory," is now the most played song on my playlist. Like
Nice.
of all of them,
Yeah.
that should have been a fucking hit. Can we go backwards? Can we?
Yeah, sure.
like-
That's the beauty
We're
of the world
streaming now,
today.
you
It can
can.
go. Let's go backwards, guys. Go
Yeah,
stream
Blaze
Blaze
of something. Go stream it.
Yes, you need to. Yeah, it is definitely my most on my Instagram stories used song for my posts. Like with the story with the background music.
Yeah.
is
That's
Blaze
so
of-
rad.
So, but I'm serious. I would have just not brought this topic up, but I'm so confident now that people need to come go see you guys. Because it's like, you felt like you were at a country concert, but you really did feel like, oh, these guys are fucking rock band badasses. Like, you guys are fucking good. Like,
Thank you very much.
Very,
Thank you.
you know, Michael had more stage presence than I knew that he would have. Dude can fucking crush it as the front man.
He's all over the place.
But then the music, I never, and I grew up around music. My dad played in a band. I played 8 instruments. I know what fucking good music sounds like. You know, you think you're going to hear something off, it's live, right?
Yeah.
Not a fucking beat missed, at least at that show.
Yeah.
You guys fucking crushed it, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I want people to hear that because it's just that good live. It was.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
And I haven't, I
don't know what to say.
I wanted to say that because that was it. They need to know. Let's talk about the tour. So where are you going?
Oh man, we're going to kicks off Madison, Wisconsin.
Yep.
We're playing Nashville, Tennessee towards the end. We're playing a hometown show in Newberry, South Carolina. Then we're going to Philadelphia, Omaha, Detroit,
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
I mean, there's
Indianapolis.
Yeah. We're doing
you know,
what, maybe 18 shows, something like that?
16 or 18. Just kind of in that region, you know, this is the first leg of it.
And we talked about this, you know, in our bar talk earlier. I'm gonna have to get a mic. We're gonna get a mic at the bar, you know, for when we have guests in, because that's, you know, like get behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, fuck, okay. Yeah, sure, man.
More to do. Put it on my to-do list.
Yeah, all right. We're gonna mic in the bathroom. You know,
Hey, we gotta get all that. It's about content, baby.
Yeah. It's all
Hey,
content.
you know,
get them walking to their car.
bar talk. I mean, that's a segment right
I
there.
mean, 100%.
Come on.
Yeah.
Bar
You
talk's
know?
the real talk. You know.
You know, but getting up for shows, and you know, you guys have toured enough, but you know, like that's the, you know, you think about the rock and roll band, you know, like you think about touring, and you know, everybody thinks it's cool, but then you get worn out, but then you learn. I don't know. Do y'all get excited about it still?
We do. Yeah, we do get excited about it. I mean, it's, you know, we have families and stuff now, so it's a different kind
Right.
of animal, but.
I know that.
Yeah,
guy.
we do,
Yeah.
man. I mean, playing live is what we love. I mean, we've been doing it for so long. It really is like, that's where like the hard work and everything, like you feel it, like you're in
Right.
it. You know, it's not a ticker on a computer screen. It's like real life in person. You feel what you've like. It's a vibe.
Right. Yeah, you're feeling the direct connection to the people that pay attention to what you're doing. I mean,
And it's such a
special
lost,
thing.
like, we live in this digital world, and the streaming, and where everybody's on the phone and all that. IRL, in real life, like it's a lost art to be able to play and hold and captivate an audience, which is what you guys do. And just that experience, I don't know, like, I don't know what post-COVID and all this stuff that's happened now, when I go to a show, like, I'm in, like, heaven. You know,
Yeah.
like that experience. And I think having a band that, you know, in a world where there's just not enough good old rock bands, you know, to just play, you know, and like
Yeah.
it's just a lost art.
Oh yeah, people need to find the art.
I
again,
know. I'm like,
man.
well, there's nothing that can replace that. You know,
The live experience.
There's been a million ways that people have tried to simulate it, but I'm like, nothing can give you that experience except for going and seeing the live show. So I mean, and we love that. I still like feel like we're in the garage, like turning our amps up to 10 and just playing. Like it's still so exciting. So I encourage people to go out and see any live show. I mean, live music is incredible.
Yeah.
We went and saw a show the other night, and I left like
Yeah, we
feeling
went and saw
inspired.
we went and saw Clint Black.
Who was amazing.
It was like his 35-year anniversary of the Killin' Time record that came out
Wow.
in '89, which is 2 years after we were born.
Yeah.
But I remember that record growing up. You know, I mean,
How's Clint Black these days?
awesome,
Dude,
Awesome.
I mean,
Better than ever. I mean, it was an incredible show, and I was
talk about like
truly inspired.
musicianship and like a show and entertaining, and he like his the way he talked in between songs and the way he described things and told stories. It was like
You would approve.
you would be
Yeah.
like, dude, this is great. Like
I love
It was
that.
and he
captivating.
played like a couple of hours. How long did he play for?
like 2.5 hours.
Is this in Nashville?
yeah, and just hit after
That's
hit.
the thing. You guys living in Nashville, man. Like, for everybody listening, then people know Nashville's gotten cool and all that stuff. But like, the amount of great like artists and music just still comes through there is like unmatched, isn't it?
Yeah, the Ryman. You know, that's where he was at.
Yeah.
which is an incredible venue. But
You guys played there.
yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just recently.
We played there a few times, but most recently on the last tour. Yeah, I mean, he was great.
Yeah, Clint Black, 1,000 Horses.
He was in the movie Maverick.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
When I told my dad, I was like, "We're going to see Clint Black tonight," he was like, "Oh, that movie Maverick, man, that was good." I'm like, "That's what you know him for? That's
But
awesome,
so
though."
many good songs, so many great songs, you know, and I don't know, we loved it.
Yeah.
We're on a
Amazing.
big Clint Black
Yeah.
kick right now.
If doing the Foo Fighters with My Hero, and go download that, guys. If you're listening, just go Spotify, look up 1,000 Horses. My Hero will be their top single right now. If you're listening to this in real time or the next month, probably maybe another single out by then. But is it made you consider doing more covers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
We talked
definitely.
about it. Yeah, some of our favorite songs from the '90s that we grew up with, that my brother played every day on the way to school, that
Yeah,
kind of molded our mind of music and what you found out what you were into and what you weren't. So yeah, we've toyed around with a few ideas.
Yeah.
yeah.
Who-
There might be something in the works potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing we can name or want to give. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet.
You know,
Still playing around.
We still got to figure out what fits us, you know. But if you got any ideas,
Yeah, throw 'em our way.
I do.
We
I
really
do.
are.
We'll talk off air on that one. I got some thoughts. Probably ones that have already crossed your mind. 'Cause, it is just stuff that I feel like I hear Michael's voice, and I hear the guitars, and like with you guys, there's stuff that I think probably fits with you guys naturally. And that Foo Fighters is perfect. God, it's just a great song.
yeah,
You know.
such a great song.
great song.
What so tour coming up, more albums to come, like when you forward think, you want to stay out of the box of like chasing something, like going back to what we were talking about.
Yeah,
But what does like that magical bus ride look like? Like what is the perfect tier? I was thinking about this. I wanted to ask this question because it's like, I think as an artist, we always talk about it, and everybody knows this, and you guys have lived this. Success is not a destination.
no,
Correct.
If it was, we'd all stop and just be, having joyous time there. But
Yeah.
it's just the up and downs of life. So it's a journey. But is there like this perfect place for a band and a group like you guys that's like comfortable, but it's where you want to be? It's like where you're not chasing it, but like, is it called what Kenny Chesney's doing, or is it like something different? Like,
yeah. I mean, I think it's building an audience, like a real large audience that you can release a record and tour and go see your people,
and just know you have a baseline that's
and,
sort
yeah,
of
Right.
a good healthy baseline of doing it. I mean, that's like the goal for every artist, and have longevity with it.
That's exactly what I was thinking, is longevity, because like it's so much fun, and honestly it's a privilege to be able to make music and have
100%.
people care about it. Like, what a privilege. It's incredible. So to be able to do that for like the arc of a career, what a gift. So we work hard at it, we take it seriously, and longevity. I think that's it. We want to be doing this, 25 years from now.
What's something about that journey or the business that would surprise people? I think there's enough like train wreck shows now that people know that superstardom and celebrities don't have it all perfect all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe what's like one of the biggest surprises maybe for people, for a group that's living their life making music?
The biggest surprise. This is a good question.
I don't know if we've ever been asked this question before.
This is one.
Or what people wouldn't expect. And I'm going to give you a little teaser while you think about that.
Okay.
Because this is back to bar talk. You talked about rehearsal. And when you guys said that, because we were talking about, doing the new album on the show, and, growing up with a father that played in just local nothing bands, but they rehearsed, boy. Our house would be rocking. The
Yeah.
Alford house would be shaken to the core when Dad they practiced like 2 or 3 times a week, and you guys saying that, I was like, oh, you guys still rehearse? Like, of course you do. But it was just like, you have to hone it doesn't just come,
Right.
like
No, it's
the practice of the profession.
Yeah, I mean, you have to you have to build your show like from scratch. You know, I mean, every tour starts over, and every record it starts over. So there's a lot of work and energy that goes into that before you ever play the first night. You know, and you rehearse and you learn what you recorded. You know, because a lot of times when you cut the song and you're done with it, that's it. You're not in tour mode and you're not in rehearsal mode. So you got to go back in and refresh yourself on what you recorded. Luckily, you can remember most of it. But yeah, the amount of work that goes into making records and writing songs and then rehearsals for tours, it's a full-time job. And now you throw content on top of it. You know, it's 24/7. Like always something going on. I mean, you know, for us, we all talk with our team, you know, every day from like the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And it's always strategy, and it's always what can we do here? What can we try? What can we be? And you know, it's besides the show. I always compare the show as like a smoke break at work.
Yeah.
Like that's where you get to have fun. Like that's where you get to like cut loose and let it all out. And then everything else is like you're back in the daily grind. You know, you're traveling, you're flying, you're riding, sleeping places, and it's all, you know, we love it. So it's not a negative thing for us. A lot of people may not be on board with that, but it's kind of where we thrive is in that lifestyle. But there's a lot that goes into it, you know.
I think that's probably it. That they know that there's work involved, but they don't know. Like they probably think of it as a 3-hour day and not a,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh no,
endless.
they're long days, man. And it's like no one else can do that for you because it's your
Yeah, it's totally
idea, your creative vision. So it's like from literally the ground up.
Yeah, you're a business owner.
Yeah.
You know, you run it like you run your deal. You know, it's always on your mind. It's always, you know, always those things. And you can't turn it off.
True entrepreneurs. I mean,
Like,
you're laying in bed thinking about
even on
that
vacation.
shit, you know?
Like vacation isn't vacation. You're in a different place, and you may not have any responsibility, but you're looking for
still
inspiration.
thinking.
You're
Yeah.
looking for ideas. You're writing things down, and you know, I think that's just an entrepreneurship, really, with the whole thing. But you gotta. There's a full team. You know.
I know you guys, you know, have families and like do stuff and like. I still think about like how the partying like on tours and like how people hold it together for as long as they do, or does it always just crash and burn eventually? Like, are there, you know, I just think about it because that's just what you think about with rock stars touring. You know,
If you thought the show was great, you should have seen us when our party days were great.
Right. Yeah.
You know, yeah, we had that phase. You know, like we really got after it. You know,
We were younger and
yeah. But then you start realizing, like, oh man, like there's a lot.
Does just eventually does the toil or the, you know, I guess the devil come a calling eventually that for paying for it, like it starts impacting the work.
100%.
Yeah,
There's
without
no way
a
it
doubt.
can't. Like, and there's a lot of people's livelihoods on the line for what you do, so you have to act accordingly. And you know, we talked about that word longevity. If you want longevity, you gotta think about that. Like, what's more important? And eventually, it catches everybody. There's not a single person.
I was about to say, is there anybody that's just somehow ridden the wave for 20 years?
I don't know if you had a call-in line, I'd love to talk to him. You know, but yeah.
I think about the
But you
biggest
gotta
artists,
enjoy
you
it,
know, like,
you know?
you know, whether it's, I don't know, Jason Aldean or any of those guys that, you know, like, have they all just had their ups and downs of that, you think?
I mean, I think
Assuming, and I'm not saying you're speaking for them.
no,
but, like,
but I mean, we have toured with a lot of like legendary acts and superstars and become friends with them and gotten to know them and them mentored us. And like the one thing, you know, they're smart and they're responsible. Like you got to know when to cut loose and when not to. And
so they find their moments. Like
everybody finds their moment to have a lake day. You know what I mean? And cut loose and have a good time, just like everybody else does. And that's
so if
one
they
thing.
got 5 shows this week.
No, it ain't happening.
It ain't happened. But
Right.
maybe the last
fifth show.
night because they got a 4-day, 5-day break or something,
Right.
then they let their
Yeah.
hair down.
Yeah, man. Yeah, everybody's hanging out by the buses after the show and having some beers, listening to
Yeah.
music. There's a food truck or something. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's the same as anybody else. Like you get out off on a Friday and you're like, all right, let's go, boys.
Yeah.
So most of
The
those
temptation of that, I think, would just be hard, like because of the nature. Because everyone's coming to your show to party.
guys, yeah,
right?
but you're not.
You know, like me at work all day, everybody's not necessarily here to party all day. You know,
Yeah.
we can make it feel like a party sometimes.
Well, you are
but-
everybody's Friday night, every night of the week.
Yeah.
And it's just being responsible, really.
Yeah.
I know that growing up, when we watched Behind the Music Motley Crue, we were like, well, that's what I want to be. Those guys weren't responsible at
Yeah,
all.
you just go crazy, and that's part of the charm of it. But
The reality is, it's not.
But do you eventually find joy in not doing that and the playing and like you
Yes.
know?
The experience is better, in that world. Yeah, you remove the lens of the filter of what it is, and you actually experience it and you feel it and you enjoy
more pure.
it. It's more pure, and that's the joy of it. Yeah, how much you really enjoy it, and it's not about just getting fucked up all the time and running away from whatever problems you have. It's more or less, or it's more just the true energy and fulfillment of like a great crowd and a great show, and like the camaraderie of the band and the brotherhood and the people that are there that, and they spend their hard-earned money to come see the show.
right, they didn't come to see you get drunk. They came to
Yeah.
see you
Yeah.
put on a kick-ass
They came
show.
to see you and them get drunk. That's what they want to do.
Right.
So why would you?
Who was the best partier? Like big star or who you hung out with that was like a lot of fun.
Oh man.
Everybody, but, like, can we name
All of them?
names? Are we
Yeah.
just getting down?
I don't know. I mean, we had good nights.
I mean, you can look up our touring history and without naming
use
names.
your imagination.
Yeah.
But it was always, like you said, like last night of the 3-day run or 4-day run, and that's when everybody got to see each other, because you don't see each other a lot during the day.
Yeah.
Like everybody's got their own shit going on, and that was the fun part. And like end of tour was always the end
End
of
of
the
tour is
like
always the true cut loose moment.
It's like, oh man, we did it, boys. We made it. It went well. You know what I mean? And
Got on the other side of it.
yeah, you got on the other side of it.
Yeah. And you made all these new friends along the way, and you're
Yeah.
celebrating that. And
It's like the
end of
last
tour
day of the school year when you get your yearbook signed and shit.
Right.
And you're like, fuck, I'll call you, man. I'll hit you up.
Yeah.
And then then everybody
is
goes
fun.
back. Then everybody goes back to their world.
What do y'all make of like the country music scene now? I mean, everybody's coming country. Like
Yeah.
it's a popular place to be. That's
when
for sure.
Post Malone's crossing over, it's like he's a reasonable like artist and songwriter, I think, even in his genre, but it's still fascinating how
Well, he's a fan of country music.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are. When you get into music, you're a fan of music, period. So, I think Post Malone coming. I mean, I'm a fan of him. So, and I think it's a cool thing. Like, he wants to express himself, and he's a fan of country music. And it's like Darius Rucker. It's like he was in Hootie, and that guy can sing every word to classic. He's a country
The most obscure
music,
country album. Yeah.
like
I mean,
encyclopedia.
he's Columbia, South Carolina boy.
Yeah,
Not
that's
right.
far
But-
from where you grew up.
Yeah,
like-
but you would never know that.
no, you wouldn't if you didn't know.
But he will school you on country music history. And thank God he came and made a country record. He brought his talent and his expression to that genre. And so, man, I think it's great. I mean, come on.
Beyonce,
Yeah, I mean,
Come on.
She's a Texas girl. She grew up in
you
Houston.
do a little 1,000 Horses Beyonce mix, right?
Let's go.
There you go. A little collab. I like
I was
that.
trying to meet Beyonce.
Exactly. Right.
Dave Grohl, Beyonce, where
Beyonce.
y'all at?
Yeah. We'll do it. That'll be a great one.
Yeah.
Post Malone can come in too.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So
It's called borrowed interest, baby. Hey, we don't mind getting a little shine from them, right?
That's
Yeah,
it.
bring it. You know, I mean, there's plenty of room, right?
We need their shine. You know, they don't need ours, I guess. But
Hey, they need your talent.
yeah, but so I think it's cool, man. I mean, it's music.
It can't
right?
help
Yeah.
but I mean,
It'll
it's got to help the genre even. I mean, not that the genre's needed any help. Let's be honest. It's kind of taken over as the popular music in a lot of ways, you know. And
Well, it opens doors, you know, for people that are trying to do the same thing that their doors have been shut. You know, I think that's the cool thing about it. You
And
know,
it puts,
somebody's
like-
got to pave the way. Somebody's got to be a trailblazer when it comes to it. You know, it's hard. You know, those people are very influential and very powerful. So when they do something, I think it opens up a lot of doors for
Yeah,
people and
I was
open up
gonna say,
people's minds to things.
Puts
that,
more ears on the genre as a whole.
you know.
is there someone like this? Not like, but this just in country now. Like, if you were pointing out, like, y'all love to tour with them. You know, is there anybody now? And I mean, obviously the Foo Fighters. I mean, that's like, you know. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's me. I'm talking about like that's in
Specifically
country.
in
Yeah,
country?
specifically. That's kind of like y'all are digging what they're doing, or feel like, you know, they're kind of pushing the envelope a little bit.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love what Jelly Roll's doing, you know, and we've kind of known him for a long time. We don't know him like personally, but we had some party nights.
Oh
with
yeah,
him
down
years
at
and years
the Red
ago,
Door,
you know.
there in Nashville.
And you know, Lainey Wilson is another artist that I love what she's doing, man. She's such an incredible performer, and her stage presence and just attitude towards the whole thing, I find just badass. You know, you know, those are two. There's a lot of great music coming out, but yeah, I would say, you know, people that we haven't worked with or toured with, like those are of the new.
I mean,
new
just
crop.
talking about breaking barriers. I mean, Jelly Roll. Like,
Oh,
have you listened to his,
crushing.
like his old stuff? But then now it's like everything's gold with him. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Well, he's kind of he's an inspiration to people.
yeah, he's just like the last thing the person you'd think that would be crossing that line. But look, the music speaks for itself, right?
People like
Dude
it,
can
you know?
wail.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
he's doing it and doing good things for people.
I was gonna say he's doing
He
it in
just
such a
seems like a good
positive
guy.
way.
He's doing good things for the world. You know, I think every chance he can get, and his story's great. You know, where he came from, what he went through, and you know, even looking back at it, you know, the genres, the music that he was doing, and then what it's evolved into. Like that's the beauty of an artist. Like it evolves into something. Mm-hmm. You know,
how's the community? You know, you guys are in Nashville. You know, like the community of country music. You know, like you got all the superstars, and then the guys like you guys are great musicians, put out a lot of albums. You've had the highs, the lows, but just steady. Like, is there like I don't know, a circle or like a bar that y'all hang out with? It's like, is that just a mythical thing in like someone's mind? All these guys
Probably.
just, yeah, like,
I mean, we see
everybody's
each
doing
other.
their own thing. I
Well,
know.
it's fun when we see each other out on the road. We see each other at
Yeah.
events. You know,
Okay.
that's when we get to hang. You know, but
The community is definitely real.
It's like a family, man. I mean, you know, there's not very many of us, and it really, you know, even from superstars to new acts, like there's never like an ego of like, hey man, well I'm such and such, and you're gonna do that. Like it's a real like. Nobody makes you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's real. They help each other. Everybody helps everybody in a nice way, and I feel like it's like it's a little community of people that, you know, we're all competitive without a doubt. Like that's just life, but supportive
Yeah.
of one another.
I mean, the reality is, wherever you guys go, you've done something that millions of people wish they had ever done. Like to make, you know, music your livelihood, to have a number one hit,
Yeah,
to have multiple hits,
very-
to have, I mean, you guys are living the dream.
Yeah, man, it's a God thing. You know, I always bring it back to that. You got to follow where He takes you, and it's important to keep that close to you as you travel through this crazy high and low business of
Yeah.
things. You know, that's what we always kind of bring it back to that. But yeah, we're very grateful, very grateful. Never, you know, imagined, you know, what we've seen and done. Like that's what we dreamed of when we were kids, but it didn't look like, it's like what you dream of and then what you experience and then what it really looks like. And it's been an awesome journey.
Yeah, awesome ride.
Most
so
of the
far.
time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Where can everybody stay in touch with 1,000 Horses and everything
man.
y'all have going on?
At 1,000 Horses on everything, like 1,000 spelled out horses, and then 1,000horses.com. That's all our handles are that.
Tour dates there.
Tour dates are there.
Links
New
to all the
music's
music.
on every platform you can listen to music. And yeah, we're out in the world, man. We're on the big old
World Wide
Web.
Web.
World
Wide
Web.
Web.
Yeah, and on all the social channels. So 1,000
Yeah.
Horses. Guys, loved having you.
Dude, thank you for having us.
Thank you so
Good
much.
to see you again, man.
I know.
I know. That's awesome.
We'll have to do this regularly. you
Who
know?
knew when we met on Jaren's bus that we would become buddies and do this thing? So,
You
but
know?
thank you for having us in and
Hey, you got my seal of approval. Anything I can do to make the 1,000 Horses star shine brighter,
thank you.
we'll be doing it here.
And your
on-
song's coming. Roll On's coming.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if that ends up being a hit, you know I'm going to say I told you so.
And I want you to tell me
called
that.
it.
I want you to tell me that.
Uh,
I'm looking forward for that phone call.
if nothing else, it'll get played 1 billion times at the Alford House.
And that's what
Clayton
it's all
Hudson,
about.
my son's, I'll never forget, I'm on the boat and played it for the first time. And my son Clayton's very studious and like, he's kind of got dry humor, or whatever. He's like, I was like, played the song or whatever. It's like, what'd you think? He said, that sounds like a hit, Dad.
Oh, nice.
He's like, he said, I can see all the college girls playing that. That was
That's
his second comment.
Well, that's a great comment.
And he
Yeah.
liked it, like, because he
Yeah.
was nodding and whatever, and he's just a stoic kid, but dry
Yeah.
humor. But like, he wasn't even joking; he was just matter of fact. Sounds like
I
a
love
hit,
that.
Dad.
Yeah. We need to get
so
this.
awesome.
This guy needs to get a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He used to be an
Yes.
A&R guy.
Yeah, he should. Yeah.
But thank you guys for coming in. Hey
thank you,
guys,
brother.
you know where to find us online. I'm at Ryan Alford on all the social media channels, and look, go see these guys live in concert. Just send me a thank you note or two. Hit me up in the DMs, because you'll see the music playing on my stories. We'll see you next time. Write It Out Now.
To listen or watch full episodes of Right About Now on the web, go to ryanisright.com or follow at Ryan Alford on all social media platforms.